Nancy, I'm just gonna jump right in. Last night, we saw Savannah, her sister, and her brother release an emotional video message.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too.
What went through your mind when you saw the three of them on that video?
Well, first of all, Savannah looked bone tired. Savannah and I, as you know, work together at Court TV, and I have seen her without makeup. That was not just Savannah without makeup. That is Savannah bone tired, flanked by her brother and sister. And I can only imagine. This goes through the night and the day. You wake up in the night thinking, is this real? You wake up first thing in the morning going, is this a bad dream? And then it hits you like a ton of bricks that it's real. So they are the walking wounded right now. And the first thing was I was stunned at how haggard they all three seemed.
Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again.
And it was excruciating to see Savannah hurting like that. That was my first reaction. Second, I was hanging on everything that she said and what, if anything, I could discern from it. Number one, I discerned that there's something in that ransom note that's accurate. Now, there's reportedly 2, some people say 3 ransom notes that are the same thing sent to different outlets. And you gotta look at who would send the ransom note to the local station there, obviously a local, and to TMZ. Who reads TMZ? I do, but who else does? Help me identify a man and his interest in that. That was the first thing I thought about the ransom note. But watching Savannah, I knew that there was something genuine, something correct in the ransom note, or why would they go to that extreme? I'm very angry that people have been attacking Savannah, saying, well, why hasn't she issued a statement? Why isn't she begging? Why isn't she crying? Did anybody ever think that police were weighing this as a hostage situation, as a ransom situation, and they were trying to determine the best course of action? I know her. She knows the law very well. She's covered many, many missing and murdered cases at Court TV and beyond. She knows what's happening, and I'm sure she's following the advice of law enforcement. So it hit me that they would not be doing this public plea if they did not find something believable in that ransom note.
As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her.
I was thinking, Savannah's an attorney, Savannah is a journalist, like Savannah is very savvy. So to ask for proof of life made me feel like, oh, they believe there's something here. When you heard them ask for that, what was your thought there?
Well, to me, it corroborated the belief that the ransom notes were real. The fact that you've got someone sending the ransom notes, interesting, not to the family, but to media at those targeted outlets, which to me reveals something, and I got to figure out what about the perp. But wanting the money in Bitcoin, does the perp believe that Bitcoin accounts and transfers cannot be traced? Yes, it's more difficult, but they can be traced. And if the perp got the money in a Bitcoin account, what's he going to do? Leave it there forever? He's got to transfer it to where? And when that transfer happens, bam! Another thing that hit me, and it hit me hard, is that they're pulling the strings right now. They're the puppeteer, and Savannah is the puppet, and that burns me up. They have the power, we have nothing. So we're playing their game, as I like to put it. Right? We're playing his game, and it is a man.
What makes you so definitive that it's a man?
Statistics. Name me one woman that's pulled off a ransom kidnap. None? So when you guys pull that out of your ear and give me several statistics on women that ask for ransoms, then I will listen. But right now, they're very, very few. It's a man. I was also struck looking at this case at the blood outside of the door. To me, it looks like a very low velocity, free falling blood drop. In other words, it's not a bludgeoning. It's not a gunshot wound. It's not the copious amount of blood from a knife wound. It looks to me like Nancy Guthrie was walking out in that she was upright. She may have been helped out that door. Obviously to a car, she cannot walk over 50 yards. So at that point, she was upright, which is encouraging that they took her out of that home upright and potentially walking. So that is encouraging.
Let me ask you about the investigation itself, because the police closed the crime scene a few days ago. They allowed the media onto the property. Some of the media then were able to shoot those droplets of blood that you were talking about. But yesterday, the FBI arrived. They closed it. They made it a crime scene again, closed it with crime scene tape. They brought the dogs out. They were searching. Why would this happen? And is that a mistake by the local police to allow other people on the scene before the investigation was complete?
I hate double guessing local law enforcement, but HELLYES. It was a mistake to release the crime scene, and it should not be released even now. Why? Because anybody and his little sister can go up on the crime scene and tamper with potential evidence they haven't found yet. It's crazy. That crime scene needs to be closed down, clamped down, and pronto. What are they thinking?
Nancy, I know you've heard this by now, and I'm anxious to hear what you think about this theory that has been reported, that the brother-in-law, Savannah's brother-in-law, his wife's, her sister's husband, is a suspect in this case.
I've heard that. I've heard that theory. I was watching the sister, Annie, and Savannah, and the brother, Cameron. And I find it, of course, I could be wrong, but I find it very hard to believe that the sister and Savannah and Cameron are going to make a public plea to an unknown kidnapper when they all think it's the brother-in-law. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Now, maybe I'm being tricked. It's absolutely possible. I've been wrong before. But why would they do that if they already think it's the brother-in-law? I don't know where that came from.
Are you hearing anything about a possible suspect yourself?
It's my understanding that police are trying to narrow down a profile of who they're looking for. They do give credence to the ransom note. And in my mind, ransom notes were always a plethora, a Pandora's box of evidence. Where did it come from? Was there an IP address? Was it handwritten? Was it cut out of magazines like in an old Columbo episode? There's a lot to be gleaned from the mode and manner of the ransom note. I'm sure it was most likely digitally sent. Great. The FBI is full of digital experts. Once you introduce a ransom note into the scenario, for me, it's a matter of time.
There's over 100 detectives now on this case, and various leads are coming in. With investigative strategy, what should law enforcement be prioritizing at this stage of the investigation?
Number one, close down the crime scene. Number two, focus on the ransom note, bring in the feds. Local law enforcement, and this is all local law enforcement, don't deal a lot with ransom notes, but there are experts that do, and experts that deal with hostages. They need to all be brought in. I don't give a lot of credence to profilers, but once in a while, they nail it. I would be using any and all resources and combing over people in the local area that knew where Mrs. Guthrie lives, that knew she's connected to Savannah, because if the ransom note is real, we have indications it may be, this is all about money. Who has a money problem and who has a connection to Mrs. Guthrie? There.
At what point does intense media coverage like we're seeing now help? And then maybe does it ever begin to hurt an investigation, something like this?
I think the only risk for media to compromise the investigation is if sensitive information is leaked. And that's when you have to ask yourself, am I more worried about getting a click or more worried about bringing Mrs. Guthrie home? That's a moral decision that the media must face. I'd just like to point out a perfect example, and that's Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito disappeared in dispersed camping. I mean, no porta potties, no plug-ins, no lights, no nothing. You're out there in the middle of nowhere with wild animals. That's where she was camping. And there was a citizen sleuth, I believe the handle was Red, Blue, and Methane, who had been caught watching the case and went, hey, they're out in dispersed camping and they see a white Ford Transit and say, that's Gabby Petito's Ford Transit. If it had not been for them and the media, her body would never have been found, I wager. So as far as citizen sleuths and the media, bring it on.
Love that. Thank you so much, Nancy. We appreciate you.
Thank you, and please join me in prayers for Savannah and Mrs. Guthrie and their family.
Absolutely.